Hello, Peachy Fam. How is the most creative family in the world doing today? It's 2018. Are you fulfilling your goals? I've ran actually one more time since the last time, so making moves over here. Today we're gonna have a chat because, I've been enjoying the movement and all the fun in the videos lately, but sometimes I just want to sit down and talk to you guys, have a little chat. We have someone coming by the office today that I'm very excited about. Last video I did a little bit of an office update, but I got something today that's huge. I've been waiting for it. A refrigerator for not this chair. For the hint, our supply is getting a little low. We might have to do some reorders. Maybe we can do a little bit of a unboxing. I really hope there's nothing fragile in here. We have a guitar stand because I actually want to hang up my guitar. So the TV didn't work up here because this is brick. So I hope I can hang this up there actually. The idea is that this is my side and then this is John's side. So I feel like it would be cool if I had a guitar right here and maybe a skateboard hanging right there. How do you guys feel about that? I think that'd be pretty cool. We got a switch so I can bring the power of the internet from over here to over here via Ethernet cables. NAS update from the last video. It took 2 nights and then 2 days of actually being in the office and switching out the drives to back up around 7 to 10 terabytes of footage. So now I'm gonna have all of these separate hard drives at my apartment if I need to get old footage, but here in the office it's gonna be super easy to access every single piece of footage I've ever shot. I explained it in my last video if you wanna watch it. I'm getting organized, guys. I'm getting my life together. Honestly, bigger than I expected. Voila! Look at all this space! So much hint water is going to go in here. The vlog exception. Guess what I just got? Trash. I just got a fridge! I've talked recently about starting up an official podcast, and I got some gear recently from the last video. We unboxed it. But Kraigstopher back here, oh my gosh, Kraig has been podcasting it up. I think you use the Rode mics?
Yes, they're
okay.
Awesome.
These are the ones that I'm gonna be using. Honestly, I just saw that all the important podcasters were using these, so I was like, must cop. Links in the description below. Luckily, I had this preamp from the days of me recording with my band.
Sara, what's a preamp?
What's a preamp? Basically, it takes a signal of your mic and it bumps it up so you get a good crisp signal from your mic. So I also did get these preamps. They're kind of the go-to when it comes to these mics. So we'll get there. So with Kraig here, I was like, what a better time to kind of test this out.
I'm gonna pop my P's and my S's. Is that what they say?
Yeah, that's the thing with these mics. Hopefully, it says it's like a built-in pop filters. Mic number 1. Look at that.
It is the podcast of Kraig, brought to you by Kraig. See, how's it going, Kraig? It's pretty good, Kraig. Solid. The rule is simple. You laugh, you lose.
Check 1, 2. I feel like the levels are so low.
Yeah, let's listen to that.
So what's up, guys? Testing out the new mics, testing out podcast equipment. So this is basically just a little test drive to whet your appetite and to also just kick me into gear. If you have no context, I did something called the Daily Peach, which was like a 20-minute podcasting thing every single day. But Kraig, you have been experimenting with podcasting.
Yeah, I think I'm on my 3rd podcast right now. I did one for wedding people. I did one ripping off Tim Ferriss, and now I'm doing a new one ripping off Tim Ferriss again. So Kraig Adam's show, Kraig and people talking about the things.
Who are some of the people?
Matt Davalia, the director of the Minimalism Netflix documentary, was pretty cool. And just, all the New York City people, and then also Richie from Australia. And yeah, I want to get more women on the podcast because I realized it's just India and a bunch of dudes.
You could have me.
People shouted you out on Twitter, so I think we got to get that
happening.
Okay,
so we got to make it happen. So we're not just going to talk about podcasting. We actually want to talk about a certain tweet that threw me off when I saw it, but then I saw you retweet it. It was something that I was thinking, but I didn't say it. So this girl is named @TaylorLorenz on Twitter. Her bio says, I write about social media, influencers, YouTube teams, and Jake Paul. It amazes me how many YouTubers think they should be paid for doing interviews with news outlets. I'd say about 40% of the time I reach out to influencers, they ask about compensation. Like, are you crazy?
She had to add that.
Are you crazy? Honestly, it wouldn't have been that bad if it wasn't for the like, you are crazy. So what did you retweet?
I said, like most things, this isn't black or white, yes or no. Value isn't always just monetary. Promotion or a shout out could be worth more than short-term cash. You have to be able to determine the value of any interaction and if it's worth your time or money.
What do you think is the biggest difference between mainstream celebrities? You have big PR agencies representing them. They have a big movie coming out. They go to people.com. They do an interview. I mean, what's the difference between that world and YouTube world?
As I've done more and more YouTube and social media stuff, I've started to see how simple it is for old school traditional media. Like, it is kind of a collab when they just have this actor come on Jimmy Fallon to talk about a movie that the company that owns The Tonight Show or whatever. It all makes sense to me. Like, of course they would promote within, but it is very old school. They have rules and you don't break them. But social media is new. It's crazy. Kind of break rules a little bit. We do whatever works.
The whole thing about her tweet, I think, is just making something that's very a black and white statement for something that is a huge gray area. And it really is all about value. If I have a huge project coming out that I want to promote and I want it to hit mainstream outlets, okay, so that's an equal exchange. They have the association with a big name on YouTube. I'm not saying it's me. If I was like a 1 million subscriber, if I was Lily Singh, I had a new movie, a documentary coming out, me going on people.com, advertising that documentary or movie or whatever, and them getting her name in the headline of the YouTube video, that's mutually beneficial. But when people are, I don't know how traditional media works, if they can just get free, they're acting like they can get free statements from like Leonardo DiCaprio, like on a whim.
Yeah, just to break down her tweet, it amazes me how many YouTubers think they should be paid. If you change that with the word actors, like, there are so many different types of actors, and we're talking about like A-list to all the way Z-list a thing? Like totally. The worst actor in the world?
100%.
Yeah, obviously there would be some actors who shouldn't be compensated if they were to do an interview just because we don't know who they are. But it's just so crazy because she's using the word YouTubers as like this derogatory. No YouTuber deserves to be paid to do news outlet stories.
And it's the same thing again and again, discrediting YouTubers as legitimate entertainers and creators.
The follow-up reply to that tweet from her was like, wow, and apparently every moron on Twitter agrees, this society is doomed. My hot take, my tea, is that she generalized she's in the business of sensational media, as most people, honestly, sadly, who are posting things today, you have to have an outlandish opinion. And if you have a polarizing response or audience 50-50, you know, that just generates more buzz.
Exactly.
I get a lot of questions that are like, Kraig, should I do work for free? Yes.
That's a controversial question. Yes, 100%.
I think so. You just have to have... The word of the year for me is filter. You have to take information, projects, and be able to say no if it's bad. Some of my best projects, my most lucrative projects, have come from relationships, like just being friends with this person and they got me this project. And I would say almost all of those relationships came from non-business standpoint. There was like no money incentive for them to help me or for me to help them. It was just us doing work for free and helping each other. So I think that speaks a lot to the fact that you should be open to doing work for free. You just have to understand what's good and bad.
Yeah, and the moral of the story is understanding your value. So it almost sounds like we're coming back to like saying she's right, but not necessarily. It's just like you have to know your value. You know, don't do people.com interviews for free if you're Jake Paul, unless you have a movie to promote.
Also, why did she say 40%? That's such an arbitrary number. Just say 50%. That's the thing that ticks me off the most. I can't.
There you go.
I cannot.
He's done. Well, thank you, Kraig, for being on the whatever this is.
If she said 41%, I'd be like, blocked.
Blocked. Okay, test number 1, success. That is the most intense helmet. So my office is directly above Sam. So it's right there. And usually once like 5 p.m. hits, I can't even hear my thoughts because we did it. How does this sound? It's almost midnight. I'm still at the office because during the holidays, I went back with my family during Christmas, and then I hung out with John's family right after that. And I actually took that time to completely kind of turn off, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. But it was literally 2 weeks of not really doing anything. When you have 2 weeks of doing nothing, it adds up, especially in the new year. I'm thinking of new things that I want to do, and it requires some thinking outside of what I'm doing currently, and so it's just hard to kind of focus on other things. So that's why last week I only posted 1 video, just because I'm trying to straighten everything out, and I'm actually about to go to CES, which is crazy. It's going to be my first CES, and I never told you guys how I got the mic actually sounding the way I want it to. So in the beginning, I completely ignored the preamp that I got with this. It's called the Cloud Lifter, and I got a decent level from the mic, but it wasn't clean at all. I mean, this is what it sounded like with the hiss. So this is basically just a little test drive, but what I didn't know, and it was probably in the instructions, I don't like instructions, is you have to actually use phantom power to power the preamp. So my audio interface has phantom power, I powered it on, and now we're good to go. But yeah, this video is definitely different than normal. There's not as much movement. It's very chill and sit down, which isn't the best formula for YouTube videos, and honestly the best formula for me, because I need exciting stuff to edit. But yeah, sometimes it's good to just like wind down and talk to you guys. How are you? How is your soul? I do a lot of meta stuff. I show the process, but I try to avoid talking about YouTube as much as possible. But sometimes, I feel like it's nice to have an honest conversation about YouTube, art, entertainment occasionally. And I read the comments. I read comments of videos, and Peachy Fam, y'all rock. Y'all are the best. I love my audience. I love you guys, but sometimes when a video gets served, outside my audience, or it's a collaboration, so it's a video on another person's channel, you just feel the internet. And sometimes being a chick on the internet isn't the coolest, with like rape threats and stuff. The comments recently that probably hit me the hardest are the ones that it's like, I know you're coming at, because I feel it too. The comments like, oh wow, thank God this isn't another iPhone 10 video or something like that. And it's funny because out of my, most recent 17 videos, there were 3 with the title, iPhone 10. If you're ever like, I'm not really feeling this video specifically, Sarah, just go to my channel. I do a wide variety. It's just my YouTube channel is a reflection of my interest, and I've tried to bring more focus to it over the past 6 months, and I think I've done a good job of it, of just kind of refocusing into tech and creativity, and then bringing my life into that. And then sometimes I sprinkle in just stories about my own life. Sometimes you guys get tired of the tech stuff, and last week I was actually super stoked to post some videos of going back to Texas, and I was able to retrieve the only electric guitar that I still own, and I played for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. And then it's still crazy that I get the opportunity to like go and interview people like Zach Galifianakis. That was in another video. And then along the same lines as those comments is I'll have a few trickle in from like the OG Peachy Fam saying, where's Creative Spaces TV. I hope Creative Spaces TV comes back. Over 6 months ago, I actually made a video and said Creative Spaces TV is over. That reason is Creative Spaces TV is a docu-series that I did that was basically MTV Cribs, but with substance. So I toured an artist area and you got to know really their process behind what they do. Even though Creative Spaces TV is done and that was a part of me establishing my credibility as a filmmaker and a person who can tell stories, I really encourage you to go watch a few episodes. I'll link them in the description below if you haven't seen them yet. I think it gave me credibility during the time that I was at, and I needed that. And then, I've just been progressing on YouTube, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, whether it's just a tech review or maybe it's telling you like my top 10 iPhone apps or something. Like, I love making the videos I'm making right now, but I do feel that extra tug or even that responsibility of making more sophisticated content like what Creative Spaces TV was. I actually do have a series that is similar to Creative Spaces TV that I'm actively pursuing right now. It's called That Creative Life. So in the beginning, there's Creative Spaces TV and That Creative Life. Creative Spaces TV took so much time and energy, and it was really telling the story of another person, and it was just shooting so much footage and then telling the story in like a 15-minute edit after the fact. And then That Creative Life used to be just me sitting down and interviewing people, honestly kind of like a podcast. When I decided to not carry on with Creative Space TV, and it had its time and I'm stoked on them, but I'm not going to do them anymore, I decided to kind of combine the two. So now That Creative Life is kind of a saying that I'm obsessed with, and I want to put on t-shirts, and I want you guys to live that creative life, like living your best life. That creative life allows me to just explore different topics and people, and I'm actually shooting a new episode, but it's an episode that's spanning over a month to shoot. So in a way, it's probably turning out as much time or maybe even more as a Creative Spaces TV episode, but I'm not held to that episodic flow of like one season being this many episodes. I kind of just like the flexibility with That Creative Life. Yeah, I've just been rambling on, and I realized that cheers if you made it to this long in the video. Sometimes we just need to have a chat, right? I need to go to bed. Why am I still talking to you? You guys just gotta leave me alone. I'm tired. But I like this. I like days that are like work all day and then you just hit the bed and you're just done. You're just completely done because you gave it your all. So guys, let's strive for those types of days, at least every weekday of 2018, because sometimes you need a break, I'm going to start embracing the weekend a little bit more. Thanks for chatting with me today and hanging out in probably this 20-minute video. Do you think it could be 30 minutes? ASMR. John, you hate ASMR. Anyways, things are getting weird. Guys, remember to stay peachy. I'm so pumped to be just crushing with you guys. Okay, bye. Oh, hold on. Bye.